back with our series of life lessons. And if you're already regretting or maybe even giving up on your New Year's resolutions, we're going to make you feel better about it. We're going to talk about how to set goals that are more mindful, more attainable. And here to help us do that, one of our favorites, psychotherapist and writer, Niro Feliciano. Niro, good morning. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
So, I mean, let's be real. A lot of folks already have like, I did try January. I was going to go to the gym every day. I'm not doing it. They feel bad. Is there a better way than making resolutions?
Yes.
What is
Listen, we're 2 weeks in and people are like, I'm tired and I'm done with this year. You know, life is hard. It's unpredictable. And resolutions make it a little harder because they're rigid and they're fixed. Intentions, instead of resolutions, allow for the unpredictability of life. So, for example, instead of saying, I'm going to cut out all sugar and just eat bok choy, right? It's more ridiculous.
That's not
so
happening.
we can say, I want to be a healthier person. And if you have to make a resolution, just add whenever possible at the end, and that gives automatic grace.
I should have talked to you on December 31st.
What was your resolution?
More rest, you know, more time being present.
In other words, things you're not going to be able to do.
Correct.
But when we talk about intentions, Niro, so how do we decide which ones and then how many? Should you limit the number of intentions?
Yeah, I like to say focus on the who instead of the how. So who do you want to be? What kind of person? Who do you admire or aspire to be more like? And when we start with identity, then we'll figure out the how. So for example, instead of saying, I'm not going on my phone, we'll say, I want to be a more present person. And that leads us into how do we incorporate this into our life? We can do something called habit stacking. I know you've heard
Habit stacking.
Yeah, so we take something that's already wired in, that's automatic, and connect a new behavior that we're trying to make automatic to that. So for example, we all make our coffee in the morning.
Right.
Yes.
That's a neural pathway that's wired in. We don't have to think about it. So in that time, if we want to be a more present person, we can say, when I make my coffee, I'm going to take 10 deep breaths and start my day intentionally. We can connect the two, and then it's more likely to stick.
Are there other examples of habits we could be doing? Like, give us some ideas.
Yes. So say you say, I want to be a more organized person, right? That's something people do.
Yes, that was my
Was it?
I don't know if you could be
resolution.
more organized than you are, though.
I'm organized in areas, but if you saw my house, like there's always that stack of
Got it.
papers.
Okay,
It's always there.
let's use that one.
Okay.
So before you go to bed at night, before you put on your pajamas, take 5 minutes and organize an area of those papers. We want to connect them, right? And if nighttime is not good, like for example, if you're like me and you fall asleep on a couch at 8:30, 3 times a week, move it to the morning, but just 5 minutes. And we want to just wire in the habit first. Maybe you need more than 5 minutes, but just show up for yourself in that way for 5 minutes, and then we can increase the time once it becomes regular.
Speaking of habits, January, fittingly, is Mental Health Wellness Month. What are some habits that people who are watching or listening right now could incorporate into their lives that would probably help?
There are 3 good ones. And first of all, something to remember is anything that helps us mentally is also going to help us physically, and vice versa. So one thing, movement. I mean, all the research for years out of the NIH has said movement, exercise helps everyone with their mental health. Medications we know are great, help some, not others, but because of the endorphin release, lowers anxiety and depression and mediates pain. We don't feel pain the same way. Connection. Our Harvard study, the longest study on well-being, tells us that is at the heart of well-being. And not just I hang around with people or I'm in a relationship. You can be lonely and in a relationship.
Sure.
You know, who knows you? Who can you be vulnerable with? Who can you be honest with? That connection is so important. And for that reason, I've always paired taking a walk every week with someone that I know.
Well, that's
then you
good.
hit 2 of them.
Yeah.
You deepen your friendship. And lastly, giving back. And I'm going to summarize this in a very different way. This Monday, I attended a funeral for a very great man. He was a physician. He died at 90. And at the end of the service, the rabbi said, he left the world a better place than he found it. And I heard that and I thought, isn't that it?
Yeah.
And we make that an intention every year. And that can be small. My trainer says I try to make 10 people smile at the gym every day.
Yeah.
I'm not one of them. It's hard work.
But
Maybe none of his clients.
But you make us smile.
Oh, but whatever your corner of the world is, try and make it a little better every day.
That's wonderful. You just did that for us. Thank you,
Niro,
Niro.
thank you. Always helpful. By the way, for more tips on goal setting, you can go to today.com. There's a new edition of Niro's fantastic column. It's called, Is This Normal?
Hey, thanks for watching. And don't forget, you can catch the Today Show every morning on NBC or take Today when you're on the go. Just follow the Today podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen.